Welcome back. All right, so we're going to talk about two prospects in this video, two for the price of one, and I'm also going to throw in that you may hear in the background fans running for the next few days. It's going to be hot from now until Tuesday. So I'm usually I'll turn the fan off when I'm doing videos, but in this case it's going to be toasty. So you may hear fans in the background. I intend to have three of them running in this room starting tomorrow. There'll be at least four running upstairs starting tomorrow. And yeah, so let's get into this. But again, for anybody who says, "What's that noise in the background?" It's gonna be a fan. Be fans. I've got the clip-on fan. I've got to get to for the desk. I haven't used that in 2 years. I know I didn't use it last summer. And when the channel was first starting out, I lived over top of a pizza joint, and that was interesting because of course normally your place will start cooling down at what 6 o'clock, maybe 6:30 on those really hot days. Not when you live over top of a pizza place and everybody's ordering pizza because they don't want to cook. Then it just keeps getting hotter. So it might be 11:30 before you start to get some kind of reprieve from the heat. So as interesting as the next few days will be, much better off being here than I was being there. So we'll get through. But I just wanted to throw that in there. All right, so we're going to talk about goalies. Jesper Wallstedt or Sebastian Cossa. So what I've got here is I've got logos on both sides of the board of teams that I think might draft Wallstedt or might draft Cossa, and it's a different group. Both goalies, well, they're both well over 6 feet tall, and that's a requirement for a goaltender. Wallstedt, 6'3", 191 centimeters, 214 pounds, 97 kilos. Sebastian Cossa, 6'6", 197 centimeters, 212 pounds, or 96 kilos. So their weight's about the same, but Cossa's 3 inches taller. And there may be some who feel, hey, maybe Cossa, he's 3 inches taller, so as bizarre as that may sound, that may end up being something that causes a team to at least think about it. But when we look at it, these two aren't that close. They should both go in the first round, but Wallstedt is seen as number 9 in the consolidated rankings. I'm wearing Sharks because I can't see Wallstedt falling beyond San Jose. Elite Prospects has him at number 6. TSN has him at number 10. The Hockey News has him at number 11. HockeyProspect.com has him at 14. Sportsnet has him at 12. And that's the wonders of this year's draft. Once we get out of the first few, it'll be, all right, we'll see who goes here. We'll see who goes there. It's going to be fascinating. Now, for Wallstedt, he played for Luleå in the Swedish Hockey League this year. 22 games, 908 save percentage, 2.23 goals against. So playing against men, he did pretty well. And he looked good as well at the World Juniors. We'll see how things go for him. His strengths, basically everything. It's just when I was looking at the strengths, the chart, everything's basically around the same. So positioning, mental side of it. So, figuring out all the mental side of it, which is huge. And I have to say with a goaltender, it's that thing that we may not talk about as often as we should, which is the ability to bounce back after a bad goal, the ability to see the big picture maybe in a dark moment in the game, the ability to shake things off, the ability to just that bounce back and that mental side of it is huge. The ability to handle expectations that might be a little bit higher than expected before maybe a season starts. Recovery, rebound control, low shots, glove, blocker, you name it. He's good on the glove side and the blocker side. It is very unlikely he drops out of the top 10. So for me, San Jose makes sense. I could see the Kings making him a pick as well because while I love Cal Peterson, I think Cal Peterson's a good goaltender. Wallstedt would set them up for the next decade if they drafted him. Ottawa could absolutely use. Now I know Ottawa has other goaltending prospects, so maybe they pass on him. Cannot see him dropping below Chicago. I can't see Chicago not making a play for Wallstedt. And if Wallstedt's gone, Chicago may take a look over it, at Sebastian Cossa. It's possible. Because, again, drafting goalies in the first round, it's not quite the kryptonite that it used to be for scouts and for general managers. So, yeah, Wallstedt has all the strengths. He's been projected as the number 1 goaltender the entire season. Nothing has changed throughout the season. He's still the top guy. But Cossa, depending on which list you look at, he's not that far off. So again, 6'6" versus 6'3" for Wallstedt. On the consolidated rankings, so that's Elite Prospect averaging out all the rankings they have, he's 29th. So that means late first round. I don't think he's going to be there at 29th. Elite Prospects has him at 24th. TSN, Bob McKenzie, has him at 14th. So they think very highly of him. The Hockey News has him at 24th. He's not in the top try that again. He is not in the top 32 for Hockey Prospect. He's number 23 on Sportsnet. So again, could be as high as 14. Maybe he doesn't go in the first round. I can't see him not going in the first round. So he plays for Edmonton, the Edmonton Oil Kings, right? 19 games, 941 save percentage, 1.57 goals against. Now that's against juniors, while these Lulea stats are against men. So that's their difference right there. But Cossa, does he get past Edmonton? Edmonton's drafting at 19. So the earliest I think he could go, in all likelihood, is Edmonton at 19. Just looking at the teams and just saying to myself, which one could use a top-notch goaltending prospect? If he doesn't go at 19 to the Oilers, which would be insane, right? He's playing for the Oil Kings. They could definitely use a top-notch goaltender in their system. I really think the Oilers makes a lot of sense. But Detroit picking 22nd, they've got that pick from Washington. Using a Washington pick on a goaltender, that'd be a real Capitals thing right there. Number 24 pick for Columbus is one they acquired from Toronto. I believe that's in the Nick Foligno trade, right? So if Columbus ends up getting a top-notch prospect in goal in Cossa, Toronto could use a top-notch prospect in goal. Carolina, possible, right? You've got Reimer and Mrazek. You may keep Mrazek around, but you could use that next guy. That, yes, you have Nedeljkovic, but you can always use that next guy if you're Carolina. Colorado. Does Colorado, if he falls that far in the draft, does Colorado pull the trigger? I would think yes. Again, looking at their goaltending depth in the organization, I think Colorado could use them. And then, from the teams that are still playing, Vegas. I can't see a situation where he slips past Vegas. So my guess is it's between the Oilers pick at 19 and when Vegas picks, wherever they pick. That's my guess. So there are a lot of ways this could go. His strengths, rebound control, positioning, glove, but with Cossa as well, everything's pretty darn close. There isn't really any one area that you look at and say, he's not very good at that. So it would be interesting to see if Edmonton would do that. If they would pull the trigger and say, you know what, we'll take Cossa in the first round. He's not going to be ready this year, but goaltenders aren't. But that, again, and as I've said in other draft videos, the draft prospects this year probably don't play next year in the NHL anyways. So NHL readiness really shouldn't enter into it, which might make it easier for a goaltender to slip into the first round, maybe into the second round that otherwise might not. And there's the possibility, depending on which list you look at, that we have a third goaltender go either late in the first or early in the second round. So, with Cossa, my guess is Edmonton. With Wallstedt, my guess is San Jose. But again, we'll see what happens. This is an interesting draft class for goaltenders. It feels like there's more high profile goaltenders in this year's draft, but maybe that's a reflection of the fact that this draft is kind of unpredictable. But let me know your thoughts. Where does Cossa go? Where does Wallstedt go? And is there the possibility that Cossa at 6'6", somebody says, you know what, we'll take Cossa ahead of Wallstedt, and they just absolutely blow everybody's doors off? My guess is no. What's yours? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.